6 weeks ago, we spoke to some high school students about how they're navigating the college admissions process.
I think right now it feels a little stressful because I know it's so close and I've been waiting for so long. And I made the pact to myself that I'm gonna fully dedicate myself so I can go to college. And that's been my goal since 7th grade.
I'm Nicole Ellis, and this is The New Normal. Mariah is a senior in high school in Grand Rapids, Michigan, and she would be the first person in her family to graduate college. When we first started talking to her about it, she was really excited about the possibility of going. Then coronavirus happened, and her perspective completely changed.
I've narrowed down my choices to basically Columbia and DePaul and Chicago, but I've had to kind of rethink what my dream school option was.
Columbia was initially Mariah's dream school. She also qualifies for their no loan program, which means that if she decides to go there, she won't have to pay to attend, but she'll also be really far away from her family in New York City. She's also considering DePaul, and a part of why she likes it is because it's just a ferry ride away from Grand Rapids. But she'd also have to take on considerable debt to go there. What gives you pause now that maybe didn't before coronavirus happened?
It's kind of made me rethink if I'm ready for it. Since we're all at home, a lot of dynamics have been magnified, and I've kind of realized I wouldn't be able to get through such a hard time like this if I didn't have my family. But I don't want the burden of my education to go on my family. I have 6 siblings. My dad, he works at a restaurant, but that's kind of been inconsistent because of what's going on. And my mom can't work because she has an illness.
Yeah, coronavirus does put a lot of this stuff into perspective. I'm 32 and I came home to Houston because this is really hard to navigate in a city by yourself where none of your family members are. Is there anything you'd want to know as you try to figure out what to do next?
How do you make decisions about the future without kind of basing everything with what's going on right now, if that makes sense?
The coronavirus pandemic makes it tougher than it's ever been to decide on colleges. So we talked to an expert to get some tips on how to navigate making decisions in stressful situations like this one.
People are experiencing PTSD, honestly. There's the grieving of loss of proms, loss of graduations.
Dr. Aisha Dickerson is a licensed counselor and professor who works with young adults. Her first tip is to take stock of what you're good at and skills you've already developed that you can apply when you go to college.
Stop and think about what other ways you've had to adjust in the past. Consider that and take it into your future.
If you haven't already, write out the pros and cons.
But when you're weighing your positives and negatives, even when you're looking at your negatives, think about ways that you could flip those around into positives. Everything's not always as bad as it seems.
Once you've done that, revisit the role your family plays in your decision making.
Consider what we call family resource management as a whole. So your family's resources include financial resources, they include time and energy. If you are one of the people who contributes to the household a lot, it may be a lot for them to have you leave. But thinking about family resource management from a short-term and a long-term standpoint, will you end up with more income in the end so that you can contribute to the family more?
But how do you navigate feeling insecure about being far away from your family? Like for Mariah, she's coming from a tight-knit community to potentially going to an unfamiliar city by herself, either during or shortly after a pandemic.
Make you some friends who are willing to be your person, since your person is all the way on the other side of the nation. The truth is we all had to make adjustments as we went, just like we're making adjustments because of COVID-19.
And finally, it's okay to be uncomfortable.
Realize that going to college is an accomplishment, period, no matter what. No one can take that away from you.
We'll continue to cover more stories like this in the coming weeks, so stay tuned. For more stories like this one, subscribe to The Washington Post on YouTube.